Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Main back here with Brian Sanchez. It's like Brian's Corner. That's what we'll call that. We're here in Brian's Corner. So if you want to reach out to me, you can do it at stevemain.com. Yeah, follow that. Maybe an editor will put something up there or something. Brian's a personal trainer, Fitness for 10 in Carson City. I got it right that time.
Yes.
So welcome, Brian.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? Good to see everyone.
All right, so let's talk about what the best diet is. There's got to be, you hear all these, what are you laughing? There's all these experts on, especially YouTube and Instagram, and they all know how you should eat. That cracks me up. So what's the best diet? Are you kidding me? So a coach or trainer like you can help, and you're maybe going to start, well, I don't know. Let's figure out your protein first. So, I did this glucose monitor, had it on my arm and for 2 weeks, and I check my glucose all the time. And I don't see solid 100% patterns in me. If I eat a certain way for 2 days, it's going to change the way my glucose behaves that third day. And then the next time it's different. So what's the best diet, Brian?
Well, so, a lot of the times what happens is, and I literally will answer this way. People will say, hey, do you think high protein diet's good? Do you think high carb diets are good? Do you think, the South Beach diet's good? What about the Atkins diet? My answer is yes. They're all designed to help people lose weight. But there is no one diet that's going to take care of everybody. And I don't understand why people are so caught up in trying to find a canned system. That's like a weight loss pill. If you take a weight loss pill, is it going to work for you? Well, I think if you take something that's going to try to kill you, yeah. Like the old weight loss pills back in the day. Here's the reality. What's the best diet for me as an individual? Depends on my age, depends on my body, depends on my goals. Do I want to have a weight loss program? Do I want to develop muscle? Do I just want to maintain where I'm at? Am I a runner? Am I a weightlifter? Am I a dancer? Am I a wrestler? First things I will ask is, what are you eating every day? I want to know for the individual, hey, before we can even talk about a diet for you, we need to know what you're eating. More importantly, you as the individual need to know. If you are not tracking your food intake currently right now, and you're going to go into a dieting system, you may not have to diet in theory on a fancy diet program. You might just have to make some simple adjustments. Here's what's important. Do you know how many calories you're taking in a day? You have to know, just for information, approximately how many calories you're taking in a day. If you're taking in, 3,700 calories a day, that's important to know for your body. You also want to know, on average, how many calories you are burning a day, or what basically, you can find this online. Go online, punch up for me. Male adult, 55 years old, how many calories should I burn a day, or how many calories do I burn a day? It's going to give me a number, probably around 2,700, 28 with my weight. It's going to say you will burn 2,700 calories sitting on your hands. So, rule of thumb would say, well, then I need to eat 2,600 calories a day. I should, in theory, lose weight, calories in versus calories out. But, I have a slow metabolism. Or, my 2,700 calories were 90% sugar, which throws off my whole body and my balance of my body. Or was it 2,800 calories I ate today, and was it all protein? You need to know all of these things. So, number one, don't pick a diet yet. Establish your average burn of calories a day, look it up online, and understand what you should be doing based on your body type, your age, your height, your weight. You can look it up. There's a bazillion different calculators out there, and everybody's different. Based on that, take a look at how many calories or what your caloric intake is going to be. You should know whether or not you're taking 100 grams of protein in with 140 grams of carbohydrates and 20 grams of fat. You need to know that. That's important to you because that's going to help us establish how to create your individualized, not your Long Beach State diet, your individualized diet. In other words, I could get away with not eating another carb in my life. So why am I going to go on a chicken and rice diet? I don't need the rice. Whereas, Steve, you're about 200 pounds lighter than me. Okay. You could use the carbs maybe more effectively than I can. I don't need it because I carry a lot more body fat. So I can survive a long time without carbs. In fact, I kind of believe my body doesn't need them. Now I eat them because I want that source in my body. Those are important things for us to understand when we choose the diet plan we want. When you hear people going on, hey, I watched this weightlifter, here's his diet. 4 chicken dinners with lots of rice and lots of sweet potatoes, and he adds A, B, C, and D as his supplements. Well, look at his body. Why does he do it? He's probably going to be, if he's a bodybuilder, he's probably going to be single-digit body fat, so he has to have a starch, or he's going to pass out every 5 seconds. But he's going to need a crazy protein load to build the muscle to keep his muscle where it needs to be. If you don't understand that the body's going to operate based on those macros, then it doesn't matter what diet you're going to take. You have to know this information. I always say, yes, the diet's going to work, but here's what I worry about when we talk about the best diet. People will get on these crazy diet plans and they'll lose this amount of weight. The moment they go back to their habits, they gain that weight back because most of these diets will initially deplete you of a value of water. And you'll lose X number of pounds in water from the get-go because you're not focused on your water intake. You're changing what you're eating. When that happens, you go back to your regular dieting, your body changes like these. If you come off of a high vegetable diet and you go into a carnivore diet, you could dehydrate yourself a little bit. You need to understand that. Your fiber load's going to go down. It's going to make it hard for you to process waste. You got to make sure you understand these things. So you have to balance that diet system out for your body. I think when it comes to the best diet, I can talk 1,000 hours on this because people are always hunting this down. I do think that high protein diets work. I do think low protein diets work. I think sometimes higher fat can work. It all depends on that individual's burn and what they're trying to do with their body. When I'm trying to build muscle, am well over 3,500 calories a day. When I'm trying to lean out, I'm at around 2,800 calories a day. You take some of these trainers at 2,800 calories that we work with because they don't have the size I do, that would put fat on their bodies, but that will lean me out. So there's no real perfect answer. Is that kind of give enough information, or am I sounding too confusing, Steve?
No,
it's
exactly.
Up to the individual.
Yeah, I would add, it's about the macros. And
Yes.
I have suggested multiple types of diets for different people. But after I ask them questions, I can look at them and get an idea of what their body composition is. That matters. And whether it's carnivore, lion diet, keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, flexitarian, Mediterranean, you got to know more about the person. I say, well, I would start with this, but the macros are the key. And I agree with you, protein first. So you have to get your macros right for your body. When I say macros, I mean amount of carbohydrates, amount of protein, and amount of fats. You're right. Carbohydrates are not essential. No one will die without carbohydrates. But fats and protein are essential. You have to get those in your body. I'm a protein guy too. And I don't care how small, if you're an adult, I don't care how small you are, your protein, I'm going to recommend that people's protein is at least 100 grams. Well, guess what? If you don't pay attention to your protein, you won't get 100 grams of protein. I've used this example 100 times. And that is, if you ate 8 eggs and a half a pound of lean ground beef, which is high in protein, you'd be at 92 grams of protein. That's not enough for a small woman. So it's now you can easily get 100 grams of protein if you're paying attention to what you're eating. If you're eating high density protein foods like bone broth, like chicken, like cottage cheese. You know how many grams of protein are in a half a cup of cottage cheese? A lot. Well, I don't like cottage cheese, but my point is if you don't pay attention to your protein, you won't get 100 grams. And some of you out there are going to need 150 grams, depending on what your goals are, to 200 grams or more of protein a day. The next thing I would try to figure out is the amount of fats that your body likes. You got to get some healthy fats. To make your body healthy, you need fats. And there's saturated, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated fats that are all healthy. For sure, you want to stay away from trans fats and fats that we all eat when we go to the restaurant because they're cooking the food in rat poison, basically. I mean, I don't mean for real, but it might as well be because it's canola oil, it's soybean oil, it's bad stuff. So to go to what you're saying, you have to get the macros right, and everyone's different. And you may start out, can a vegan get enough protein? Yeah, I've done vegan. I've done them all because I'm always experimenting on myself. So it's a matter of getting, in my opinion, the protein right first, and then finding out where you should be. And I've recommended carnivore to people before. Why? Because I knew, okay, it's what you're eating and you're hungry. Okay, I knew if you can only eat protein, like meat-based protein for 2 weeks, your body's going to change. And then now I can get you going to where, okay, now let's figure out what your macros, let's perfect them now. Let's put some carbs in. Let's, get the fat dialed in. So everyone is different. Age matters, body composition matters. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be this mean guy, but if somebody's got 50% body fat, I recommend you never eat a carb again if you can, help it. You might get it accidentally on something, but I promise you're not going to die. And as I was testing my body with this glucose stuff, the way I eat, I was in ketosis most of the time. And we're talking pretty deep, 2.5 to 3. And you can check that out online too if you want to figure out what that is. But my blood sugar was still going all over the place. That's kind of weird. So I would monitor, I'd eat just berries. I ate 30 berries and my glucose spiked, it almost doubled. It came down pretty fast, which is good, but that was only 20 calories. And so would it be like that when I was 20? I don't know. My body has changed. My body's different. It's always changing. You always got to stay on top of it. So what's the best diet? We can get you started and say, let's start here. But before we got on, Brian, we were talking about people have to take responsibility for their health. They need to be proactive. They need to be a participant, not just doing 100. Think. I'm not saying don't do what the doctor says, but if the doctor tells you to jump off a cliff, that's an old cliche. Don't jump off the cliff. Ask questions. Ask why. Actively engage in your own health. It's your health. You need to be responsible for it. And so a coach like Brian can help you and get you started, but you got to get it dialed in for yourself. Journal. keep a journal on how you feel, and you'll be surprised at what you're eating, how it relates to what you're putting in that journal. But a coach like Brian, again, can help you get it figured out. Is he going to have it figured out right away? No, but he's going to have a pretty good idea of where to start. And then we can start to get it dialed in for that person. What's your preference? Some people like to be vegan. Okay, let's figure out how to be the healthiest vegan you can be. I want to be carnivore. Okay, let's figure out how you can be the healthiest carnivore you can be. And let's monitor it and go from there. And then, people can be part of it.
Well, and I think to add to it, I think when we talk about diet, when people ask us, Steve, what's a healthy diet, we have to make sure people understand when you talk to us, when we're talking diet, we are not talking minimization of calories. We are talking proper eating, behavioral changes. That's what we're talking about, how to manage our bodies, how to change our practices and behaviors so that we're managing our bodies. That's what we talk about when we say diet. It has nothing to do with just dropping calories. But we need that information to kind of establish where you're at. Look in your cupboard. Write everything down that's in there. Come and sit down with me, and I can tell you where we can go. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I think of some examples, and you cut your calories to 500, right? Great, I made it. I look exactly the way I want to look. It's perfect. Okay, now what are you going to do? It has to be a lifestyle. You have to be managing your food intake and what it is. Here's a simple example that hopefully will make sense why that will never work. We have a beautiful club in Reno, right? So should I do this? Should I go in and go, hey, you know what? This club is beautiful. It's spotless. All the equipment is working perfectly. Why do we have a cleaning company? Let's get rid of the cleaning company. We don't need the cleaning company. This place is spotless. And the maintenance guy, I see the maintenance guy walking around. Why is he working here? We don't need any maintenance. Everything works fine. About how long is that going to last before your club is an absolute dump? Well, I own them, I'll tell you. About a week. Your club will be a dump in a week. It's not like cleaning your house. It's not like, cleaning your bathroom. It's dirty in 30 minutes. You have to clean it every 30 minutes. So what's my point with that? My point is you can't just go, okay, I'm where I want to be. Now I'm going to go eat cake. Now I can do whatever I want now because I got my body. Your body will stay where it was for about a week, about 2 weeks, right?
Then it all
not going to work.
back.
That's just an example of why this has to be a lifestyle, something that you can maintain, something that you can live with. Maybe you decide you have a cheat day on once a week and you eat whatever you want. Okay, well, you have to modify those other 6 days to adapt for that one day where you eat whatever you want and as much as you want. I don't really recommend that. There's a lot of bad things you can eat, but those other 6 days have to compensate for that one day.
Fact.
Just an example.
Fact.
All right. Well, great conversation on what's the best diet. Hopefully nobody got mad at us because we didn't name one, but we want to get you going in the right direction. That's what we're here for. So, Brian Sanchez, Fitness for 10. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks a lot. We'll see everybody later.